Greetings. Welcome to another episode of Geek Talk with yours truly, Sabrina Lowery, the Tech Evangelist, and friends, giving entrepreneurs expert knowledge every Tuesday live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I would like to give a shout out to my behind the scenes audience on Instagram. Thank you so much for supporting us every week, but you can catch the full broadcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on YouTube. I want to welcome all of our live streamers. I want you all to let us know where you're tuning in from. I want you to support us and be sure that you are able to catch those replays on your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and more. So all you got to do is Google Geek as an acronym, G.E.E.K, Talk with Sabrina Lowery and friends. I'm so excited to give entrepreneurs expert knowledge. So let's jump right into the broadcast. I want to make sure that we have our behind the scenes. We want to make sure that we have our audience all in. Let's go on to Facebook. Let's make sure, yes, 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 and yes, we are live. Okay, we want to make sure we're live, everybody, because we have a very special guest with us here tonight. So I want to pull up the bio. Let's get right into this conversation and welcome our very special guests this evening. Again, welcome to Geek Talk with Sabrina Lowery. And our special guest for today is none other than Adalena Oliver. And I want you all to hear her bio as I talk a little bit about her amazing bio. So, Adalena Oliver is a values based coach, transformational leader, speaker, and best selling author with more than 30 years of experience in leadership, IT, organizational change, and personal development. She is the president and CEO of Abundant Path Mentor and Coach LLC, where she helps individuals, organizations adhere to their core values so they can lead with greater clarity and purpose. Adalena, I don't want to read the bio. I want you to tell the people who you are, what you do, and who you do it for. Welcome to Geek Talk.
Hello, 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 and thank you so much for having me, Sabrina, this evening. I am honored to be your guest on your show tonight. I'm Adalena Oliver, and I am a speaker, an author, a coach, a mom, a sister, an aunt, and I guess I'm a worker too. I have an investor that I work for every day, and I'm a senior director over portfolio management and change management for a transportation organization. I love what I do at work, and I love what I do outside of work. And my entire coaching platform and everything that I write about and everything that I do is all about making sure that people are aligned to their values and they're living their life and they're making decisions based on what matters the most to them. Because when your core values are clear, life just becomes a whole lot easier, and so do decisions when you're moving through life. It's not easy, but it's good. Thank you, Sabrina.
I love that so much, Adelina. Thank you so much for saying yes to you, for being here on Geek Talk. And I want you to talk to our audience a little bit about your background because you just mentioned a little bit about the corporate side and your segue into being the CEO of your own business. So let's go back. Let's talk about those 30 years of experience. Let's go back. Why don't you? Let's talk about maybe how you found your superpower. Go back and tell us about your story.
Oh, wow. That's a really, really good question, Sabrina. I have to say that I realized that I like working with people, and I realized that I was good with technology at a very early age. Um, I started out going to college to get my degree in social work, and I realized very quickly after doing some volunteer work that I really couldn't afford to be a social worker. So I stopped going to school and I went to get a certification in computer operations at the time. It was called computer science and operations at the time. And I learned how to code in Fortran and code in COBOL and code in BASIC and code in assembler language. And I really realized I didn't like the coding aspect of it, but I also learned how to operate the machines. And so when I graduated with my certification, I ended up going into computer operations where that's in the computer room where you do the backups and the cabling and I used to pull cables and plug in cables with high heels on because I've always been a fashion diva on top of everything else. So I love my heels and I love computers and I love people. And so I put all of that together and I made a career out of it. I went through computer operations and then I moved into communications and training and then project management and change management. And what I love about all of the selections that I made is that they are transferable skills to any industry. I was able to, with that skill set, work in just about every single industry there is. I started out in insurance, then I moved into health consumer products, and then I moved into telecom, and then I went into datacom, and from datacom, I went into a training organization, and from training, I went into transportation, and then I went into pharma, and then I went into Blue Cross Blue Shield at insurance again for like 7, 8 years. And then I went into the government and now I'm back in transportation. And it's all the same skill set. Again, the people side of technology. And through all of that, I just would like to say the trend that I was really thinking about is I was always my authentic self. I never pretended to be anybody that I wasn't. And I'm like, how did I do that? And it all came back around to my core values. And that's what I built my platform on. And that's what my story is all about, how I've been able to stay true to myself throughout my entire career because of my value system.
And I can appreciate your value system. That what makes you you. And I have admired and respected you as a leader for so many years. I love the fact that you've come up the same way that I have on the journey in IT, where
Yeah,
there weren't many that looked like us, that came
zero.
before us, that led us along the way. And so now I would love to know about what is a unique challenge, Adalena, that you faced during that time, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Well, Sabrina, it's like you said, 30 years ago, I'm going to say 30 plus years ago, there were not very many people that looked like you and me. Whether I'm talking about female as well as being a female of color, a black woman in the industry. So you walk into the room and everybody's looking at you like, why are you even here? First of all. So I had to always make sure people saw the value that I brought to the table versus just what I look like and the title that I now have today. So it's been very important to me to show my value. And I've always worked in places where I was the only woman in the room, like we just talked about. And what helped me get through that is really it's staying true to who I am. I've always been authentic. I've always been people oriented. And I stopped just trying to fit in because I was never going to fit in to being in a man's world. So I figured, don't try to fit in, just show them who I am and bring the value to the table each time and consistently. So I had to know my worth. I had to know what I was worth when I walked into that room. And it meant everything in the world to be clear about my message, to have the courage to state my message, to be flexible, and to trust in who I am.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's that, right? So it comes with a trust in who you are while figuring out who you are.
That's exactly right, because you're growing
Okay,
constantly,
that
constantly
part.
growing.
Yes, yes,
That's where
yes.
the
And not
adaptability and the
feeling
change comes in, right?
It does. It does. And also not feeling like you're the smartest person in the room that doesn't need a little bit of hand holding, or not speaking up and asking those questions that might be the difference. Because
That's
I
right.
would always ask questions. And I was even mentoring a young man that's in our NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center Milestone Circles program.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about a difficult conversation that he's having with potential stakeholders. And so, guess what? I was able to let him know sometimes you've got to give yourself grace. Number one. Two, sometimes you've got to exit the conversation with
Mm-hmm.
grace,
That's right.
meaning
I
just
love that.
hush. And when I said that to him, he gave me the Zoom hearts in the virtual room because he could
Yeah.
appreciate that. And he was like, yeah, because I could feel myself wanting to pop off. And I said, take it for somebody who knows it is very easy. So I
That's
want
right.
you to know that is why I share the advice that I do. We are giving entrepreneurs expert knowledge, y'all. So I love that. So thank you
Yes.
so much for your wisdom there, Adalena. This is always good information. And I want to just welcome our guests to Geek Talk, to another episode. Okay. Let's get the people involved. Share your comments, post any questions you may have for our special guest, Adalena Oliver, who is here with us on Geek Talk tonight. So I want to continue our conversation. And so let's talk about, in your opinion, Adalena, what are the most important qualities to cultivate success in your industry? Talk about it.
I think it goes back to having curiosity, being not being afraid to ask questions like we just talked about, and courage to ask those questions, and trusting that you are doing the right thing, not just for your company, but also for yourself. Clarity is important because if you don't know who you are and what you stand for, how can you someone else believe in what it is you have to say? And courage matters because growing is always something that uh, is required from you. And you have to also be able to adapt. And I believe that women, especially women, we should learn to speak up for ourselves without feeling sorry. And that means asking for a chance. That means going in there asking for that big project. That means going in there asking for the funding to fund your big project. That means going in there asking for a chance and a seat at the table and to be heard at the table. So I say it's important to take the ownership of your own career and where you want to go in your journey. Don't be
Mhm.
afraid. And there's no such thing, in my opinion, as failure. If they say no, just take another route and ask someone else. But just don't take no for an answer just because one person said no. Try to find another way. And I believe that the onus is on us as women and on us as individuals to take ownership of our careers. And if you can't get it in one place, go get it from someplace else.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for that nugget, Adelina. Right? We are here to give entrepreneurs expert knowledge. And since you've got that expert knowledge, I want you to share that with our audience tonight. So
Yes,
I want to just make sure that everybody caught that gem. Women must learn to speak up unapologetically.
that's
Their
right.
voices matter too. So I love that so, so much. As we continue our conversation, Adelina, let's talk about, how do you stay motivated as a leader? Because I know coaches need coaches too,
That's
mentors
right.
need mentoring too. So let's talk to the audience a little bit and share what your experience is like.
Honestly, and I had to think about this for a minute. I stay motivated. I come back to my values and I come back to my compass. I come back to the reason why I even said yes to the job in the first place. And I come back to knowing my why. Why did I say yes? What do I want to get out of this? And what do I want to give to it? And there's, just because something didn't go the way in which you planned it to go, or it didn't turn out the way in which you wanted it to turn out, it doesn't mean that it's a failure. It just means that you're off track. It may be an experience that you need to learn from. So again, being curious is very, very important. So I come back, like I said, to what I what my values are. And my values are learning and growing, and there's no such thing as failure. I always say failure to me means finding answers in life's lessons. And if you
Mm,
can't find something out of a lesson and something that didn't go the way in which you wanted it to go, you're just not open to growth, because that's what it's really all about:
mm.
curiosity, growth, and your value system.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. Thank you for that, Adelina. That is awesome. Awesome. Because we all need that motivation. Everyone is not motivated on their own. I talk to people about that all the time, which is why, even for me, I host what I call my office hours, right? So once a
Mm-hmm.
week, I open my Zoom for an hour, my virtual office, if you will, and I invite those entrepreneurs that need that expert knowledge to come in and ask questions and get guidance while they are going through their milestones and doing that journey. Some of them are brand new to entrepreneurship, never ever thought about owning a business, was never taught, guided, or what have you. And so, how do they move forward? Right. So,
Yes.
how do they move forward? Let's talk about that. What are the biggest trends that you're seeing now in our industry that will help guide these entrepreneurs in their journeys? Adelina, let's talk to with people.
Well, it goes directly back to what you just said, Sabrina. Sometimes when you can't get a seat at a table that's somebody else's table, you have to create your own table. So I think consulting is a great way to do it. Coaching, creating digital products, putting yourself out there like you are on digital platforms, thought leadership. That's one of the ways in which we grow. You put yourself out there, and all of a sudden, people start coming to you. Values driven business, doing business in areas that you value, that's important to you. And you don't let anyone tell you just because you're good at A that you're stuck in doing A for the rest of your life. I'm good at technology, but I chose the people side of technology at this stage in my life because I can't learn to code a new language. I'm not going to learn Python. I think it's great, but I know I'm not going to learn Python and some of these other languages, and I'm not going to go out there and learn, data science. The technology is changing so fast that it's difficult for people like myself to keep up because that's not where my head is anymore. But I want to understand it, and I want to understand the value that it brings to me and to the industries that I speak in. And so I think leading people who have the knowledge in technology, women shine in that area because I think we're much more collaborative in how we lead. We're much more communicative in how we lead. It's just a different vibe. One of the things that I tell my team at work, I'm not at this point in my life trying to impress the people that I work for anymore. I'm trying to impress the people that work for me because I know if they're successful, I'm successful.
Amen to that.
So,
Okay.
yeah,
That's that. Look, that's that new age leadership.
that's that
It's not
new
the
age
I,
leadership.
I. It's not the I.
It's a we thing.
It is the we thing. So
It's a we
listen,
thing. Yes.
this is I don't know if this is the generational thing versus it being also a cultural thing, Adelina, because in tech there's different cultures. Okay, so we got to speak about that, and
Yeah.
also how do we manage that as leaders? Talk about your
I love
experience
that.
there.
I love that. And one of the things that I do as a leader, because I manage people from all over the world, um, I meet them where they are. I learn their culture. I learn what motivates them because what motivates me does not motivate the people that I work for. So I meet with them individually. I find out what's going on in their lives inside of work and outside of work. Because if I can tap into that and make sure that they are able to show up fully for me, again, if they're successful, I'm successful. So I learn about their culture. I learn about their holidays. I learn about what motivates them. I learn about their families. And I give them time to celebrate that. So they'll never have to figure out work-life balance, because it's not about work-life balance. It's about work-life alignment in my mind. Are they aligned to the work that they're doing based on their value system? And am I making it easy for them to show up to work with me and for me? So
Mm.
again, remaining curious about who they are and what they do and what motivates them. Yes.
I love that so much. And shout out to the ladies in tech, our sister circle that is tuning in live with us tonight. Hi, Maria Thorpe. Thank you so much for being here, tuning in with us live all the way from Maryland. We want to give a shout out to our ladies in tech community. We truly appreciate your support. Each and every one of the ladies doing amazing things across all four volumes of the sisterhood, volumes 1, 2, 3, and now bestseller number 4. So shout out to the community. Adelena, let's segue. I have some questions for you, sis. I
Yes,
want
ma'am.
you to talk about how you're managing this work life balance, because not only are you in leadership in your business, but then you wear a leadership hat in other roles in your
I do.
community. So
I do.
talk about that. How are you managing, sis? What's the secret to being a leader?
The secret to me, again, is showing up as myself consistently in every single one of those environments. So I'm not really switching my hats. I'm the same person at work that I am at home, that I am in my business. This is the Adalena. What you see is what you get. And again, it's all about being in alignment. I aim for alignment because I try to make sure that my time matches what's most important to me. I want to spend my time on things that matter. And that means where I work as well, inside of work and as my own boss here at home. So some things that help me know, I need to understand what my non-negotiables are. What are my boundaries? And I set them in everything that I do. And I also take time to rest. I'm very good at going to get my massage on a monthly basis. I'm very good at eating right. Now, I do eat my chocolate every day, but I am very conscientious about what I put into my body. And sometimes I need just to take some downtime to focus. So when I need focus time, I use my PTO days for me days as well, not just to go to the doctor or to run an errand. I use that as downtime for myself as well. So for me, the real success is not about, what I have achieved and, um, what have I achieved at work and what I have achieved in my business. It's about being in alignment with who I am, because if I feel like there's tension between what I'm doing, who I'm doing it for, and why I'm doing it, it doesn't matter what it is I do. I am stressed out. And so my real goal is to keep my stress level down. And I do that by taking self care days, taking care of myself, and making sure that I'm in alignment with the work that I'm doing at all times, inside and outside of my job.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's so good. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Adelina, for sharing. I think that is very important as leaders. You have to know that there are days off.
That's
Anybody that
right.
started that hashtag no days off needs a spanking. And you can tell them I said it, because yes, days off
Yes,
are welcome. We need days off. We need to reset. You said it. We need to rejuvenate. Self care is real. So,
it's real.
it
Yes,
just is. And those of us that are coaches, let me tell you something, coaches are caregivers too. Okay. So
that's
I
right.
need y'all to know caregivers need care too. So that's what that takeaway is. I love that so much, Adelina. So
Because Sabrina, if we don't take care of ourselves, how can we take care of someone else?
that's correct. That is exactly my
I
point
can't
right
be a
there.
good parent. I can't be a good sister. I can't be a good employee. I can't be a good coach. I can't be a good anything.
That's right. That's right. I love that so much. So now that we are going to clip that part of the conversation, and we're going to segue in our Ladies in Tech and Friends Volume 4. So I want everybody to check out our book bundle, okay? So, excuse me as I reach, but a little bit of show and tell here. We've got Ladies in Tech Volume 1, Where the Journey Began. We have Ladies in Tech Volume 2, Changing the Face of Technology. And then we get to Volume 3, where we've got the fabulous Adalena Oliver as one of the amazing best-selling co-authors. And this volume is the strength, the strategies, and the lessons of women leaders. And so, shout out to our best-selling co-authors in volume 3. And last but certainly not least, hot off the press, y'all, the newest in the collection of Ladies and Tech and Friends, Building Careers Not Meant for Us, meaning the skirts at the table. And so we want
That's right.
y'all to absolutely support us. You got to understand there's a whole bundle of joy right here waiting for you to support us. But I'd like for Adelina to talk about her chapter in volume 4. And so, as you talk about your chapter, I'll do a little show and tell and pull it up in the background.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, I had so much fun writing this chapter um, in volume 4. And my chapter is called Built to Last. And it talks about all of these strategies that I use to build a career in IT for over 30 years. Um, Again, I at the beginning of the call, I mentioned, thank you. At the beginning of the call, I mentioned that I have worked in just about every single industry. And I have worked in IT on the hardware side, on the software side, and now I'm on the people side, helping our frontline employees and our transportation company adapt to technology changes as they are being deployed. And I tell you, some of the things that I learned throughout this journey is you have to know your worth. One of the things that we talked about, and one of the biggest things that I learned is your network is equal to your net worth.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that again, your network is equal to your net worth because the people you know get you in the door. I've had a long career. I've had a lot of jobs and I worked in a lot of industries and I've gotten into the door because people referred me. I've only ever gotten 2 jobs through an ad. Everything else was through a referral.
Yeah.
13 jobs, 10 industries,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Everything else is through a referral. So know your worth, know your why, know why you're there in a job because guess what? If you know why you're there, you know how long to stay and you know when it's time to go, right?
Yeah.
And in technology, we know that things are changing so fast that you have to continue to invest in yourself, which is another point in my book. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. And you have to, if you don't want to invest in yourself, how is an employer going to invest in you or someone else going to invest in you? So, what I do when I want to change my career or change the trajectory in my career, I go out and I get trained in that area so I can sell my services and I can say, guess what? Now I am a certified change management um, agent now. So I can drive change through your organization. Now I am a certified program or project manager and I can lead technology projects. Now I'm a certified security officer. I can do cybersecurity in your organization. Invest in yourself and take the whole story to the table when you're asking for a seat at that table or that next job or that next position. And that's pretty much what my chapter is all about.
I love that. And I'm just going to highlight the word of the day. It's going to be curiosity. That is my takeaway from Adelena's
Curiosity.
chapter, y'all. At that is what I'm taking away, because at our seasoned age, okay, I want everyone to know that we have to still be curious,
We have to
because
be
if
curious.
we continue to believe in what was, how are we going to get to the future? So I also love the fact that you mentioned the word collaboration. As you know, in my forward chapter of the
Yes.
book and previous volumes of the Ladies in Tech anthology series, that is always what I preach, is collaboration,
Collaboration.
because it is so necessary. And do you know, I had to think back to, where did that actually start? And I believe it comes from the fact that I was an only child. So
Ah.
I always had to collaborate. Okay. I used to get in trouble for not collaborating properly. Okay. And y'all can catch my drift on that. Yeah. So I really did. I gave back some thought, and I was like, I kept referencing my grandmother and all these lessons she would teach me, because she practically raised me. Okay. And then I was like, where did that spirit of collaboration come from? Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it came from being an only child. So go figure. There's a
And,
little bit about me.
and so, Sabrina, that's so funny that you would say that. And so, I believe in collaboration. And guess the reason why I believe in collaboration is because I'm 10 out of 11. I
Mm,
had to collaborate.
there it
I
is.
I couldn't go, I couldn't live my life without collaborating. So you it's so funny that you're an only child and I'm from a tribe,
Right,
just about right, of my
right.
own, and we got the same lesson. That's the beauty of values, right? We both believe in collaboration. We got there uh, through a totally different pathway, but it's the
That's
same value.
it
Ah,
is the
that's
same value.
beautiful.
Yes, of course. And that's why we are connected in the sisterhood like we are. And speaking
Yes.
of our sisterhood, let's go give some shout outs, because Maria is all in the conversation. She said, yes, we are exploring. Or are we exploiting curiosity?
Exploiting curiosity. Yes.
Ah, I love that. And shout out to one of our GSU sisters. Hey,
Hi,
Michelle.
Michelle.
What's up, sis? We love you so much. Shout out to our GSU family. Adelena, I think that's a perfect segue. What do you think?
I
Let's
think it's a
talk
perfect
about.
segue.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So, ladies and gentlemen, what you may not know is that I am one of the alumni and graduates of Dr. Cheryl Wood and Dr. Les Brown's program. This was 2022 Global Speakers University. And at that time, we were best-selling authors. We wrote the book Unleash Your Authenticity, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
so then, after we finished that cohort, she began the Speakers University, which is now known as Global
Global.
Speakers University. And so I want to give a shout out to all of the amazing ladies and
Hello.
men. And shout out to some of y'all that's on my IG right now. Hey, Donald Tolson, I see you over there. Hey, friends. I see y'all. I see y'all. And so, shout out to GSU. Adelina, talk to our audience about what made you come into the GSU family.
Oh, again, it goes back to curiosity. I have always, in my role in corporate America, I've had to do presentations, I've had to do speeches, but I never really felt confident and comfortable being in front of people. And so I had a really good friend of mine, Crystal Clare. She said, Adelina, come to my graduation. Come to, a, this GSU event that occurs every November, what SpeakerCon, and I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
I'll come to SpeakerCon. I was so impressed by Dr. Cheryl's Global Speaker University. I signed up for the most expensive program that she had at the time, and it was Center Stage. And it was a 1 year long program to teach you how to speak, how to tell your story in front of people, the introduction, the opening, the body, the closing, what to do, how to stand, um, using your voice to emphasize certain things. I was in awe. And I'm like, I never knew there was so much behind speaking. And so I joined, and I have been a student, and I have been a part of the GSU community ever since. And since then, I have been so impressed. I have brought at least five other people into the community, Michelle Hawkins being one of them. And so I'm so super excited that she's online tonight listening to me and listening to us talk about Global Speakers University, because Dr. Sherrills is doing the doggone thing with Global Speakers University. And anyone who wants to learn how to use their voice to tell their story and to tell their message should participate in Dr. Sherrills Global Speakers University. I think it's amazing.
I agree. I agree. And Michelle, we love you, sis. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight to the broadcast. It is important for us to remain supportive, even when we may not be directly collaborating. So,
That's
that
right.
speaks volumes when you are able to still support those that you have been in collaboration with after the collaboration
That's
ends.
right.
So I'm thankful for that. I'm so thankful for that. I'm looking at, like, I've got a whole roster, y'all, back, like, behind the scenes. Y'all are seeing, like, I've got names. I'm just gonna name drop. Shout out to Deborah Bell Campbell. Hey, DB.
Yes.
Carolyn Brooks Collins. I love her.
Yes.
Kim Bullock Hennix. She's been doing some amazing things. Dr. Elizabeth Carter, my goodness. Carol Campbell Fuller, Sonia Carter, Crystal Clare. Shout out, sis. We love you
Yes,
so much.
Crystal.
Dr. Lisa Coney Farmville, J.J. Conway. Oh my God, I'm about to keep shouting these folks out. Montrella Cowan, Sonia English, Dr. Jonas Gadsden, Dr. Norma Harris, Ayana Henderson, Dr. Karen Pruden Hills, Trudy Knockless, yours truly, Cheryl Manette, Dr. Emma Norfleet Haley, Annie Obi, Tanya Pritchett, Grace Corshi, Dr. Sandra Ricketts Stinson, Effie Robertson, Charnay Robertson, Dana Sims Folk, Kawano Stanley, Sherwin Milkison, Dana Marie, and y'all, shout out to Adalena Oliver, who is right here with us on the
Yes,
broadcast.
yes. Trying to get my lighting right here. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine, Adalena. I was just giving some much needed shout outs to my sisterhood, my brotherhood, the GSU
The
family.
GSU. That's what got us all here, isn't it? I mean,
I'm
that's what
telling you.
started it all for me, I have to
Yeah.
say.
Yes, absolutely. So I appreciate you sharing your journey and your experience. And so I just want to take a moment and give some more shout outs to our live viewers. Good evening, Arlene, one of my
Yeah.
loyal listeners. I appreciate you tuning in each and every Tuesday. And I so appreciate everybody that's on the broadcast live, and even for those that get that replay on your favorite podcast platforms. Okay. You can watch on YouTube, you can watch on Spotify, you can watch on LinkedIn, you can watch on Facebook, and then you can listen everywhere else. So thank you
I love it.
so much for that. Okay, so we're going to segue into our closing comments for the audience. Okay. So now I'm going to do a little show and tell for the audience to learn a little bit about Adalena. So let's pull up your website. And I would love for you to introduce to everyone AdalenaOliver.com. All right. Adelena, the
Yes.
floor is yours.
Oh, thank you, Sabrina. This is my website. This is where I sell my books and my services, and soon to be my new book that I am planning on launching, a solo book within the next 6 months, and so I'm super excited about that. But I can be booked for coaching services, one-on-one coaching services, where I help my clients align their values to live their best life. And sometimes when you do the values assessment, you find that you can be out of alignment in one area of your life, but in alignment in another area of your life. That's the beauty about the work that we do together. it's ongoing and it's an evolution. So once you learn the skill set, you just keep applying what you've learned about what your values are and how to apply them to live your best life. Number one. Number two, I do speaking engagements on this as well. And so I'm super excited to be speaking at an upcoming event this summer with another one of our GSU alums, Miss Olympia Bordley, and I'll be speaking at her Lift and Climb event. I'm excited about that. And I can also be booked for training classes. I am putting together very soon, it'll be launched a training platform for folks to walk other people through how to identify, define, assess, align, and evolve their core values in their lives. And so this is my platform. Stay tuned. It's going to become even bigger and better than what it is. You can get all of my books out there. I've done 2 book collaborations with GSU under Dr. Cheryl, and 2 book collaborations with our alum, um, um, Kenyatta Powers Bruckers. She's also an alum of GSU, and Ladies in Tech Volume 3 and Ladies in Tech Volume 4. And you can also buy all 4 of my books in a bundle. And soon it'll be my 5th book. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adalena. I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much for sharing that with our audience. We want everybody to know you can connect with Adalena at ADALENA AdalenaOliver.com. And that is
Yes.
for all of our audio listeners. All right. So let's clip that. That was an awesome, awesome introduction to our audience. So, Adalena, as we close the show, let's talk about maybe what some future goals are as you get that business growing and
Yes.
thriving and achieving those milestones and those goals. What's next for you, sis?
What's next again is the launching of my book called Built from the Core. Again, I'm hoping to have that out within the next 90 days, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then the companion training class, self-paced training class that should be available on my site. Another uh, 90 days after my book launches. And then what I'm super excited about is I have developed what I call the developmental core values theory that I am trying to have peer reviewed in academia, in colleges around the United States, so that it can be considered a full blown academic theory, kind of like Maslow's hierarchy. Because I truly believe that our core values are developed at a very young age and they evolve over our lifetime. And this theory is all about how we learn our values in the very core years of our life from 0 to 7, and how it's just an evolution and how they evolve differently over your lifespan and the different spans of your life. So I'm super excited about that. And then I am developing a set of courses for middle school children as well as high school children to introduce them to this theory at a very early age so they can start living their best life as early as possible. So those are the things that are on the horizon next for me, as well as speaking engagements that I have coming up. So I'm super excited about all of it.
That's awesome. Congratulations. And I'm wishing you all the best in your future endeavors, Adalena. It is always so exciting to just see you moving about, doing your thing and
Thank you.
thriving. Okay. And our audience is there for you also. We want everyone to know you can learn more about Adalena Oliver on her website. We want you all to just know we appreciate you for tuning in, and thank you so much for being here. Hey, Andrea. She's here. She says she loves that core values for the middle schoolers. So there's that. Yes,
Thank
shout
you.
out to our Ladies in Tech family. We truly appreciate you all for your support. And yes, thank you so much, Michelle. We
Thank you.
appreciate you for
Yes.
tuning in. Come back and check out Geek Talk with Sabrina Lowery and friends again. We want everybody to know that you can be a part of the show. So let's do a little bit of segue, why don't we? Clip that, StreamYard. All right, let's talk about it. So here we have our website, y'all. Geek Talk is available for your viewing and listening pleasure. It is where we give entrepreneurs expert knowledge by having special featured guests that have expertise in areas such as leadership, lifestyle, legacy building, technology, and they are making impact in their community, all while dropping some gems, some nuggets, and maybe a little laughter along the way in our conversation. So, how can you listen? You can listen on Spotify. You can learn more about the show on YouTube. And then you can also just get in on those latest conversations and those previous episodes. And then make sure you listen, download them so you can take them offline. And last but certainly not least, make a comment and share this podcast. Geek Talk, all right? Listen on your favorite podcast platforms. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and more. So there it is. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you listen. And if you'd like to follow on LinkedIn, you will be following the Sabrina Lowery Enterprises LLC page so that you can watch the replay. All right,
Yes.
folks. So that's just a little bit about what we're doing here at Geek Talk. And I thank our special guest, Adalena Oliver, for being here with us tonight. And if you want to be a subject matter expert on Geek Talk, here is where you will go. Just go to sabrinalowery.com and you can apply. So there you have it. Thank you all so much for being here for this episode. Adelina, why don't you give our audience your closing thoughts? Anywhere that you might have any events or book
Oh,
signings, okay? And
yeah.
then we'll close this out.
Okay, I just would like to say that at this point in my life, I am very intentional about how I spend my time. Don't just stay busy. I don't want to just stay busy. I want to create lasting legacy. And so think about that. Think about how you show up. Think about who you show up with. And think about the lasting impression that you want to have on anyone that you come in contact with. Because whether you know it or not, your values are with you at all times and they show up whether you want them to or not. So think about your legacy. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Adelina. That was poignant. Another mic drop moment for our entrepreneurs. And we want to thank you for giving our entrepreneurs your expert knowledge. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. This was fantastic. I hope that you enjoyed the conversation, Adelina, and be sure that you go back and review the comments and check in with our audience. Sometimes they have questions for you, and those are potential connections that you might have. So,
Thank you, Sabrina.
yes, you are so welcome. Thanks again so much, Michelle, for being here. Thank you so much, Arlene, for being here. Thank you so much, Denise, for being here. Thank you, Andrea, all of my backstage folks behind the scenes on Instagram. Just thank you to everybody, as my pastor says.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Sabrina, for having me. It was a fun. You're awesome at what you do, and I would come back again anytime you want me
Oh,
to.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being my guest. All right, everyone. That has been another episode of Geek Talk, giving entrepreneurs expert knowledge with yours truly, Sabrina Lowery, the Tech Evangelist. And I am here to give you my expert knowledge every Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can watch the replay on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, or go on your favorite podcast platforms and check us out. Geek Talk. Remember, it's the acronym. And when you type it that way, it'll come right up in your search. And I really appreciate you all for being here. Shout out to Maria Thorpe. I appreciate you for checking in. Thank you so much, Michelle Hawkins. We appreciate you for checking in. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Arlene McLean. I appreciate you for being here. And again, everybody, I want you, if you want to learn more about our guest, Adalena Oliver, go to adalenaoliver.com. This has been another episode of Giving Entrepreneurs Expert Knowledge. And I am yours truly, Sabrina Lowery. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel and you can also follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and on LinkedIn. I want you all to know that it is my pleasure to be here with you all. And I hope that you will come back next Tuesday, where our guests are Joan Williams and Karen Pascal. They are some dope queens. Oh my God, I cannot wait for y'all to meet these ladies. So for now, we are signing off, and I want you to come on back and take a listen to Giving Entrepreneurs Expert Knowledge with yours truly, Sabrina Lowery. God bless. Take care.